What up kids? In this video I will be talking about free multiplayer games on Steam which used to be Half-Life 2 mods but then became standalone games. Originally I just wanted to make a video about randomly picked free games on Steam I like and can recommend, but while writing a script I found out that many of free games I really like are based on a Half-Life 2 engine, also known as source game engine. So now it's gotta be a two-part series. This video will be about the multiplayer ones and the other video will be about the single player ones. Well, without further ado, let's goddamn get it!
Howdy, bitch.
Alright, the first game is Fistful of Frags. This FPS Wild West themed game offers skill-based gunplay inspired by popular spaghetti western films like the 1964 film Fistful of Dollars, which inspired the name. The game features 4 factions: Vigilantes, Desperados, Bandidos, and Rangers. You can randomly pick any side, it doesn't matter, because everyone has an access to same weapons and skills. Combat in this game forces you to carefully take aim in order to accurately fire your weapons. Guns reload slowly and hold only a handful of bullets at best. You can actually perform all kinds of action in this game. Out of ammo, throw your weapon at your enemy's crotch, kick people off of a cliff or staircase, kick the weapon out of your enemy's hands and get into a fist fight, run people over with a train or kick them off of it, dual wield a revolver with one hand and a shotgun with the other. It's pretty damn satisfying, I would say. Throw axes, machetes and knives, randomly start playing an automatic piano in the middle of a gunfight, trap your enemy in a room, then throw dynamite and close the door, and the list goes on. Weapons range from single-handed 6-shooters and sawed-off shotguns to two-handed single-shot rifles and even a bow. You may also choose to bring along brass knuckles or equip heavy boots. A risk versus reward system works well, as using a relatively easy weapon will score only a few points per kill, while using any of more difficult weapons would net much more. Most game modes are self-explanatory, like versus, 1v1 in particular setting that changes each round, shootout, kill everyone else, team shootout, kill people in other teams, team play, team challenges like capture the point and push the card, elimination, first team getting all their members killed once loses. But the one game mode that stands out is BrainBread. It's a relatively complex variation of team deathmatch and revolves around buying weapons, shooting armed enemies but not unarmed players, and delivering loot. Fortunately, there is a guide for it. There are also courses that are like missions that you can do in co-op, which is cool. Classic maps of the game are 2 different mining depots, desert town with clay buildings, typical old western town, and docked paddle wheel river boat. Now let's take a look at some reviews on Steam. I also highly recommend to install this mod from the Steam Workshop for a complete immersion. Honestly, had a blast playing this game. Pass the whiskey, baby! Shitty folks just don't get it. You dig? Okay, the second game is medieval action game called Pirates, Vikings and Knights 2. Join one of the 3 different out-of-order factions, Pirates, Vikings and Knights, while they battle each other in a never-ending battle for wealth, dominance and power. You will experience really fun skill-based gameplay just like in Fistful of Frags, but in this case primarily focused on melee combat, cutlasses, axes, swords, all the good stuff. However, some classes have some sort of ranged weapon, like a crossbow, gunpowder pistol or javelin. The next cool thing is the fact that every class has a unique special ability. For example, an invigorating fart of the man-at-arms, one of the knights, or an exploding cannonball loaded into the blunderbuss of the pirate captain. Classic game modes are booty. Essentially, it's capture the flag, but the flag row plays a chest full of treasures, and you have to put down your weapon and use both hands to carry it, which makes you vulnerable to enemy attacks, but you still can defend yourself by throwing chests at enemies, kicking them, or using special attack button to boost your speed if the special meter is full. Trinket wars, similar to team deathmatch, but the only way to make a kill valid is if a player is carrying a team-specific trinket. Last team standing functions exactly like arena mode. All players have to fight to survive and claim victory, while the players that were killed stay dead until the end of the round. Territory. Depending the number of territories presented in the map, the teams must capture the existing areas for the timer to run out. If a team captures 2 areas, the timer runs out faster. If a team captures all existing areas in the map, the enemy teams have only 30 seconds to capture back one of the territories before the round is over. What about the maps? Well, the game offers a variety of gorgeous locations with a really good level design, including medieval castles, European villages, winter landscapes, grassy lane, catacombs, seaports, and the list goes on. Let's have a look at some Steam reviews for this one. Also, for this one I recommend these two mods. Unique voice acting for every character makes the game especially funny sometimes. Just listen to a few lines of different characters.
Yo ho, blow the man down. Oh, whoops-a-daisy.
Your father died of old age. Don't mind me, just bleeding to death here.
You are no man. Pretty bird. I shall smite thee.
What's the matter? I can't handle a little booty.
They are hilarious. Indeed. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. Okay, the third game will be Parkour Action / FPS Double Action Boogaloo. This game is a perfect blend of an online shooter meets a John Woo movie. Basically, it's Max Payne, except everybody is Max Payne. Gameplay is simple and fun with its epic gun-ho style mixed in with slow motion bullet time and cool dives. It's really easy to just pick up and play, no issues with complex controls. The main characters called agents are Biker Diesel, Detective Weiss, and Gambler 8-Ball, who looks just like Nick from Left 4 Dead 2, but he's rocking a red shirt instead of a blue one. Also in the game presented style skills: Marksman, Athlete, Bouncer, Reflexer, Nitrophiliac. Marksman, improved gun handling and extra firearms damage. Athlete, faster speed and better stunts. Bouncer, deal more damage when brawling. Reflexes, super slow motion and bullet time. Nitrophiliac, extra grenades and more explosions. You pick one skill before entering the match as well as your weapons. An arsenal in the game contentedly modest. 2 pistols, a shotgun, 2 SMGs, 2 rifles and grenades. However, in my opinion, it's just enough. Oh yeah, I strongly recommend to get into fist fights as much as possible. I remember dominating over an entire server with my bare hands. Felt dope. The game basically has only one game mode, deathmatch or free-for-all, whatever you call it. But throughout the match, you will receive certain goals, like capture the case and bring it to a highlighted circle on map, or you will need to go through a few circle checkpoints, and by doing that, your special ability meter will charge. Among classic locations, there are abandoned warehouse / office industrial like buildings, developers headquarters, a temple in the mountains, locked city area, train station, and of course my favorite, abandoned prison with a pretty badass pictures of Jesus in the church section of the prison. And I also like rooftops of multiple skyscrapers. You can jump off of them and shoot your opponents while falling down. Pretty badass. And here are some Steam reviews. My recommendation for this one will be this mod from the Game Banana website. I particularly enjoyed playing this game. I mean, you can slide up the stairs, alright? And you know, Nick from Left 4 Dead 2 doing slow motion backflips with a shotgun is a pretty good time. A solid 10 fatal backflip competitions out of 10. Great 80s action movie simulator. The embodiment of style. The fourth game is PvP FPS with survival horror elements named Zombie Panic Source. The game works like this. At the end of each round, players can either choose to join the human team or volunteer to be the first zombie. If no one volunteers, the game will pick one human randomly and then the game begins. The starter zombie's goal is to kill all the humans, while the human goal is to stay alive as long as possible, complete objectives, or wipe out all the zombies. The catch is that when the human dies, he will join the undead boys, but the other players can't tell by the player list who's alive and who's undead. All survivors have the same health, inventory space, attack power, and other statistics. When playing as a human, you need to focus on ranged combat, barricading, and teamwork. You also have an ability to panic by pressing P button. You'll drop all of your stuff except the currently equipped weapon and gain a full stamina bar for 5 seconds. This can be useful when you need to run away from a difficult situation. Here are some tips for you. Attack zombies when they get close only. Shooting, hitting in the head deals most damage, obviously. When you're being attacked, keep in mind that jumping and crouching to avoid being hit is useful. Zombies are divided into 2 types, regular zombies and a carrier. In other words, level 1 crooks and level 35 boss. I'm sorry. Regular zombies are just weak-ass lads when alone, however, they are extremely dangerous in packs or in small spaces. They have 200 HP, super push props ability, lunge ability, berserk mode, which essentially is speed boost and some average melee strength. Undead boys can also regenerate and use zombie vision, which is some kind of a night vision. Regulars focus mainly on melee combat, ambushing and scattering the humans. When playing as a regular zombie, don't go in a straight line when you are attacking. They will put one round after the other on your head. Also try to dodge when humans fire and rush when they reload. Carrier, also known as Whitey, is the leader, the one responsible for spreading doom, can infect survivors, use roar ability, which highlights him and makes other zombies spawn closer, and he can spot humans by highlighting them too. He has 250 HP, increased damage and movement speed, along with being able to use the lunge ability for a little longer. Playing as a carrier requires strategy and planning. Among the weapons we have pistols, revolvers, rifles, SMGs, explosives and different kinds of melee weapons, some of which are keyboard, frying pan, sledgehammer or a golf club. Among the other equipment there are health kits, Kevlar armor, barricade hammers and of course a flashlight. The game hosts few game modes, such as classic survival mode and an objective mode, in which zombies get an unlimited number of lives while the humans must complete a variety of map-based objectives to win. There's also a hardcore mode with features like, for example, zombies can have up to 6 carriers from the start or increased infection chance up to 30%. However, infection can be cured or delayed by using a bottle of pills. The game takes place in various locations of Boulder City, where the zombie outbreak has started, such as abandoned research facilities, different countryside scenarios, subway, cinema, nightclub, police station, old theater, or a rundown amusement park, and of course, Steam reviews. I recommend to install these two mods. Zombies aren't that popular anymore, but I'm pretty sure that some people will enjoy playing this game. The fifth game is another zombie game called No More Room in Hell, inspired by George Romero's of the Dead series. In terms of gameplay, this game is really similar to previously listed game, but it takes more realistic approach. Patience, ammo conservation and focus on the objectives are essential. No crosshair, limited HUD, limited ammo and weapons will force you to aim and shoot in the head in order to survive, and you can get infected if you get beaten as well. You also can't play as a zombie, unlike in Zombie Panic Source, so it's PvE. I personally prefer this game over ZPS exactly because of that. It just feels more immersive and atmospheric, and just between me and you, the game can actually be scary sometimes. You will encounter walking zombies, runners, crawlers and children. Children are my enemy. All zombies except for children can bite you, and bites have a high chance of infecting you. Infection can only be temporarily stopped with phalanx pills. All characters have the same characteristics and abilities, so it doesn't matter how you pick. Firearm handling is much like in any other game, point to the head and shoot. Some weapons penetrate, so try to line up infected to get more kills. Additionally, you can line up a perfect headshot by aiming while standing still for a couple of seconds. This move increases headshot damage to a lethal threshold. Melee weapons in this game behave less like the crowbars in Half-Life 2 and more like the swords and daggers in Chivalry or PvK 2. How far you hit and where you hit is determined by the actual size of your weapon and how it swings. Just like in ZPS, weapons are divided into 3 sections: firearms, melee and explosives. Among the firearms there are pistols, rifles, shotguns and submachine guns. Firearms and ammo are scarce. Unlike firearms, melee weapons are plentiful and can be found in common bases: baseball bats, fire axes, machetes and so on. Explosives ranging from the M67 grenade to the Molotov cocktail. Also, in normal rounds you can come across a hunting bow. Among the other equipment there are lighter, flashlight, walkie-talkies, welder, fire extinguisher and a hammer to barricade with the boards. There are 2 difficulty modes, casual and classic, and 2 main game modes, objective and survival. In the objective mode, unlike in other zombie mods, No More Room in Hell uses an objective branching system, which allows the map to randomly decide which objective the survivors must complete before they move on to the next area. The ultimate goal is to reach the extraction dome before time runs out. The objectives objectives range from simple item collecting to say firing a nuclear ICBM. Survival mode focuses on two things: area defense and survival. Players must defend predefined areas while simultaneously attempting to stay alive. After successfully completing some waves in certain levels, you can call for supply drops using flare guns, and the National Guard will send in a UH-60 Black Hawk to deliver your group supplies in the form of a supply crate that contains various weapons, items and ammo. Almost all maps are post-apocalyptic-like places, from lakeside camping to Brazil favelas with a maze-like layout, or an indoor mall located somewhere in the northeastern of the US. Steam review. As you can see, some people really enjoy the game. I love this one. Here are some funny useful mods I can recommend. The game has a commit not alive button, complete with an animation of putting a gun to your head. What else do you need for an immersive gaming experience? Additional notes. Initially, I wanted to include Codename CURE and BrainBread 2 in this video, but then I realized that it would be kinda ridiculous to list 4 zombie games in a row. I also wanted to mention Empires mod and Fortress Forever, but these standalone mods are literally dead at this point. Only some hardcore OGs are playing these games on weekends. Rest in pepperoni. In conclusion, I would say the only main and pretty obvious problem of all listed games / standalone mods is a low player base. But it shouldn't scare you off. In my opinion, finding a bunch of people to play with isn't that hard. Community discussions on Steam, Discord servers, Reddit or NeoGAF. Also, most of games on the list have an access to the Steam Workshop, so you will easily be able to get yourself more maps and game mods or turn everything into a crazy mess. Anyways, I highly recommend trying out all of these games. They're all absolutely free, and even a potato PC will be able to run them easily. If this video was decent and useful, push the thumb button, leave a comment if I missed something important. I will upload more videos like this in the near future, so if you want to see them, you can also subscribe to my channel. Follow me everywhere at nickgroshev, and have a nice day. Bye.